Hello there, Carolyn Rustin, professional life coach here. Thank you for joining me today. I want to talk to you today about getting stuck in the same problems. And I talk to so many women, and they often talk about the same thing with me about how, like, why is it, Carolyn, I'm having to fix my camera here. Dealing with the same problem over and over again, or it's the same theme over and over again, these problems. It's just, if you could actually run back the tape, you would see that it's the same thing going on over and over. Hi, Olinda. And so give me a thumbs up if that's you. If you find that you're dealing with the same stuff, it just never seems to stop. Hi, Bev. And it's just the same thing over and over and over. And so one of the things I want to talk to you about today is the questions that you're asking yourself, because we do that all the time. When we talk about mind chatter, that's us asking ourselves questions. Why does this always happen to me? That's, a very common one. Why can't I feel any peace? Hi, Barditha. Why can't things ever go right for me? Why is everything such a battle? Give me a thumbs up if you've heard yourself saying those or asking yourself those questions at different times in your life. Like, why? Why does this always happen? Why is everything so hard? When we ask ourselves poor questions, we get bad answers. We get answers that don't make sense. We get answers that don't help us, move forward. So why does this always happen to me? How do you even answer that? How do you answer that in a positive way that can help you move forward? So changing those questions is something that can be really helpful. So, crappy things happen to people all the time. That's just life. That's just the way it is. And so maybe we're asking the wrong questions. Maybe, what if we asked, what did we learn from this? What would we do differently? How can I grow from this situation? Does this really happen to me all the time? Hi, Marilyn. What do I want more in my life? So when we have those times, and we all have them, where shit's dropped in our lap and it's like, what now? What do we do with this? How do we handle this? It's asking good questions to help you move forward. Okay, what can I learn from this? What's something you can take from this? And you know what? I don't care what the situation, at some point there's something that can be taken, and you may not see it right away. And I'll give you myself as the perfect example. Some of you may not know this about me. I used to be in education. I was a teacher, then I was a vice principal. I was promoted as a vice principal at 31 years of age. So I was very motivated and driven. Didn't love my job. I was bored. Long story short, basically after suffering my third concussion, that kind of forced me out. And I had to focus on me and my health. And I went 7 years, yes, 7 years, where I did not have a moment without a headache. It was 24/7, the nausea, the dizziness, the overwhelm, hard to focus, couldn't sleep, all those things for 7 years. It was brutal. Now, my life has completely changed. Things are very different for me. I have come out the other side. Things are wonderful. Now I can look back and realize if that had never happened, I would still be in the schools. I'd be a principal, superintendent, whatever at this point. And I would be stressed. I'd be overwhelmed. I'd be miserable. I would be my perfect client. That person who can't put themselves first. That person who looks after everyone else. That person that's probably in a career that they're not loving. And that would have been me for sure. So now I can look back, and even though, those 7 years, they were tough. They were tough. Hi, Marilyn. I can now see that it was a blessing for me. allowed me to change and pivot. It allowed me to change careers. It allowed me to start doing something that I love doing and I get fired up doing and I'm passionate about. It gave me more time with my family. It did so many things. But in the time, if you had said to me, oh yeah, this is going to be a blessing for you, I probably would have smacked you across the head. No pun intended. Anyway, but hi Jojo. There's always something that can come out of this, out of whatever you're dealing with. So instead of being the, why does this always happen to me? You know, nothing's good's going to come of this. Okay, let's turn it around. What are some positive? What are some things that you've learned? What are some things that you can do differently moving forward? You know, focusing on what do you really want in your life as you're making changes and moving forward. So focusing on the future and taking the learnings that you can from that situation to move you forward. I'm actually going to give you 2 questions I want you to ask yourself. And this is something that I teach my paid clients. So yes, I'm going to give this to you for free. So there's always 3 questions that I always talk to them about. They need to ask themselves in different situations. I'm going to give you 2. The first one is that really true? So that whole, this always happens to me. My friends never call me. I feel very isolated. Is that really true? Nobody ever picks up the phone and calls you? My husband never helps out around the house. Is that really true? Denise cut the grass last weekend? Did he shovel the driveway? I don't know what your situation is, but is that really true? Because we start making these generalizations and then our brain believes it. And then when our brain believes it, it creates chemicals that create emotions and then we feel it. Then we get pissed off thinking my husband does nothing around the house. And we start to truly believe that when chances are it probably isn't true. So questioning, is that really true? The second thing I always suggest is if this is a problem involving somebody else, the question is this really about me? So for example, let's say your sister calls you up and you're talking and she just starts picking on you, you know, criticizing you, whatever. And you're just thinking, what the heck? What is going on here? And you're getting offended and you're getting really upset and you're starting to get a little wound up. And the end of the conversation, you put the phone down, you walk away and think, what the hell was that? Was that really about you? And a lot of times when we have conflicts with other people, it's not always about us. It's about, what did they just come from? Did they just have an argument with someone else? Are they dealing with a lot of crap? And you are the one that just, it got handed down into your lap. So really questioning, is this really about me? So learning to ask better quality questions. So when you're in that mess, when you're in the negative of whatever it is life has dealt your way, think, okay, am I asking good quality questions? Or am I asking questions that are going to help me spiral further and further down? So stopping and think, okay, what, I often say to people who are in the mess, okay, this is where you are. What now? How are you going to choose to move forward? Yes, this is crappy. No one would wish this on you. But what now? You can't change that. What now? Because so many people, hi Tracy, who get stuck in the mud, who get stuck in that problem are fixated on the problem. And fixated, why did I get here? Why did this happen? Instead of thinking, okay, this is where I am. What now? What do I need to do to move past this? What can I learn from this? What do I want? All these things that are spinning around in my head, are those really true? Is this really about me? Who knows? But asking better quality questions is what's going to get you out of that mess. I hope that this has been helpful. If this is something that, give me a little heart if you're like, yeah, this makes sense to me. And yeah, I'm going to start using some of these questions. If you're watching on the replay and some people jumped on later on, feel free to go back and watch it from the beginning. Hi, Heather. I always post it in the group, so you can always go back and watch it. If you are, type replay in the comments. If you find right now that you're in the mess, you're in the weeds, and you're really struggling, and you want to have a short conversation as to, okay, Carolyn, how do I get out of here? What does that even look like? You know, how could you help me move forward? Let's hop on a free, really short call. So if that's something you'd like to do, no problem. There's no pressure. There's no commitments here whatsoever. Just type me down below in the comments and I'll set that up with you. No problem. But meanwhile, just think about, okay, the questions that you're asking yourself. Are they keeping you in the problem? Are they not allowing you out? Or are they allowing you to start moving forward in changes that are better for you, that suit you? Anyway, hopefully that helps. Have a fabulous day. We'll chat again.